are through the roof because I'm talking to a guy that on his worst day is still probably 10 times more energy than I've got. Our guest today is Peter Lorimer. Now, for those of you who don't know Peter, jump on Netflix, check him out. He's in a great show on Netflix called Stay Here. Now, I've got that right, haven't I, Pete?
You have. Well done.
It's a brilliant show and we've really enjoyed it. And just the way that it's cut and edited, apart from the content, it's just a great show to look at and a great show to watch. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, Peter's a broker from LA. Most of us here in Australia think of LA as all the movie stars and all those sort of fancy people. I'm sure Pete sold a few properties for them over the years. But Pete, it's a very competitive market, I'd suggest, the LA market. And it's something that you came to, firstly, being a foreigner, moving to a different country, and from a completely different industry in the music business. So you've had a massive transformation in terms of your career and what you've achieved. But also Peter's one of these guys that's right on the cutting edge of technology and social and using those tools to improve a lot of his clients and also the agents that he works with. So after that big, long, rambling intro, Pete, thanks for joining us here at 6:30 a.m. in sunny old Adelaide in Australia.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Paulie. It's really lovely. Well, first of all, it's lovely to be on the show, but it's really lovely to be on your show because you and I have spoken since really you began to stick your toe in the water in this world.
Yep.
And now you've become like this unstoppable social media machine. So bravo to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I think it was bordering on stalking a little bit there, Pete. So I'm glad you're on the show.
It's all good. All good.
So, just a quick recap. You have come from a completely different industry. You've been in the real estate space, I guess, the last sort of 10 or 15 years. But can you give us a bit of an intro about that?
So it's interesting, Paul. I call Paul Paulie, by the way. I don't know if everybody else calls you Paulie. I've always wanted to call you Paulie. I don't know why that is. I just call you Paulie.
No, all my relatives call me Paulie.
Oh, they do? Okay,
they
cool.
Do.
So when I left the music industry, which I was in for about 18 years, just a little backstory I had, I was there kind of at the birth of the electronic music scene. I've actually toured in Australia as a DJ, and I had a lot of hits with dance records, 25 in number ones in the UK, 30 number ones in the Billboard American charts, dance charts. And then I felt this kind of yearning for what's next. Yeah. And I decided to I literally retired when I had a number one in 12 countries because I felt that I've always been a technology nerd.
Yep.
And I felt that there was going to be this shift with MP3s. This is pre-Napster, that meant everything was going to become completely digitized. And I was in a chat room where this little kid, and I don't know how old he was, but I think it was probably a young teenager, said, "Do you know about ripping?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And he said, "Ripping is where you can now pull the music off of CDs." Wow. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, this game's over. I've been in it for quite a while. I want to do something else. So I took my winnings, and my brother lives in Sydney, Australia, and my mum she just passed away recently. She was in the UK, and I remembered that property prices as compared to Los Angeles were LA was way lower.
Yeah.
And so I started investing in property, and I kind of had a knack for it. So I decided to go full steam into the real estate game. And then that's where I was kind of hit upside the head with this vanilla tsunami of nothingness.
Yeah.
And I joined an industry. I came from an industry that was very cutting edge, and I joined an industry that was like in the dark ages, that was super corporate. It was like working at a bank, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awful.
Just not your flavor at all.
Not my flavor. And I joined a company. I joined a company called Keller Williams, which is a pretty big company. And they gave me, I'm sure, advice and coaching that they felt was in my best interest. But as soon as I discovered social media, going all the way back to MySpace.
Yeah, wow.
But as soon as I discovered kind of Facebook, when Facebook came out, I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
Came over and I ran into my manager's office because this was maybe about 2005, right? I joined the industry right about when Facebook came out or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, bug-eyed, and I said, this is it. This is the new frontier. We need to stop spending money on paper. We need to stop spending money on postcards and all of this nonsense. Social media is where it's at.
Yeah.
And she looked at me like I was from the moon.
Yeah. What social media?
She said the words she said were, social media is for social things. It's
right.
a fad. It will pass.
Yeah.
And I just knew it wouldn't. And so I guess in a very long-winded answer here, what I decided to do, and my wife is a very big part of this story as well, but what we decided to do was I said to her, look, I don't want to do it the same as everyone else. I want to do it under our own volition. Yep. I want to create stuff from the ground up. I don't want to use templates and nonsense and vanilla this and vanilla that. I said, let's just create our own kind of edgy, music-flavored identity and launch it. And if it fails, it fails. I don't really care.
Yeah. And
we launched it. And I mean, in fairness, I tried it their way. I think I wore a suit a couple of times, Paul.
Oh, no.
Which was awful. And it just didn't work for me. So I said, I need to do this my way or not do it at all. Because I'm very comfortable with the fact that if I end up driving a bus, I end up driving a bus. If I end up having a private jet, I end up having a private jet. I don't really care where I fall in the middle.
Yeah.
And so we did it. We launched it. Nobody else was doing it at that time. And my career absolutely took off.
Yeah.
And I attracted all of the creatives that I formerly used to work with as clients, which I was amazed at. I have to tell you, some of these people I produced records for, and then I called them up and I said, I produced that record for you. Were you interested in maybe buying a house? And some of them said yes.
Absolutely, and you ask. That's the biggest thing. Then tell your agents, you've got to ask people the question because you just don't know what you're going to unearth. And that's the biggest stumbling block for success or failure in real estate is just the ask.
You got to ask. And then how we got to video, which is kind of my muse and has opened so many doors for me.
Yeah.
We kind of began branding ourselves, and then I reached a point where I kind of just inertly knew that video was the next step.
Yeah.
And I didn't kind of know where to launch. And I saw a few videos of people walking around houses and doing this, that, and the other. And I'm like, this is okay, but it's a little bit syrupy.
Yeah.
So I went to the Inman conference in San Francisco, which was a real eye-opener for me. And my mate, Jesse Peters, who I spoke to today, actually, who's a Canadian real estate agent who does a lot of video.
Yeah.
I did my very first video with him at the conference. And from that moment, I have never looked back because the information he gave me was, don't use video to just promote yourself. Use video to give away information about your industry.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with me. And then I was off and running. I did Magic Minutes, and then I was doing Lattes with Lorimer, and then I discovered Gary Vee. And, actually, I have an announcement that I will be making the first announcement on the planet on your show.
Brilliant. Hit us with it.
I'm speaking at the Gary Vee 2021 convention in Miami in January.
Oh, unbelievable. Fantastic. Because he had his first one this year, didn't he? For real estate.
January this year, I think.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, mate.
So I got the call that Gary says he wants me there. And so whatever Gary says, Pete does.
That's right. Who are you to say no? Oh, well done.
Just found out on Friday.
That's awesome. So, taking it back to your first video, that was like a vlog style video, the camera, holding the camera up, talking to the camera and sharing, your knowledge on real estate. And you've done that beautifully, and you've generated a massive following from that. for our clients, you know, our vendors, our sellers, you know, because it's a different system in Australia. And I think in where you work, you can work for buyers or sellers.
Correct.
And then you split the fee. Whereas in our marketplace, we list the property and then we find the buyers. There's not independent agents that work with buyers or just with sellers. So we're an all-in-one sort of process. So our job is really to get the property out there to the marketplace.
Yeah.
To attract the buyers. Then they come to an open home or they'll do a private inspection or whatever. Are you using video in that space to promote your clients' properties?
We're doing, I mean, at the end of the day, I own a real estate brokerage, so I have to do real estate videos. They can't all just be vlogs and, you know, me jumping up and down, foaming at the mouth, spitting out information.
Yeah.
So we do a property video for certainly every property that I personally list. I have about, you know, give or take 200 agents now at PLG.
Wow.
But every property I list myself, I absolutely do a video for it, even if it's a $300,000 condo in the valley here, or and if it's a bigger property and if it's got any kind of view, I will always do a drone video as well.
Yeah,
and it's twofold because yes, that promotes the client's property, of course it does. Number two, when people are searching, let's just use an area of LA, let's just say Hollywood Hills, right? So if somebody's searching for a property in the Hollywood Hills on Google, they go to Google and they type in Hollywood Hills properties.
Yep.
If you've got a video, you're going to appear in the search.
Yes. Yeah.
And even now, I would say 97 out of 100 properties, even in the expensive arena, don't have a video, which to me, baffling.
It's crazy because all the algorithms, you know, whether it's Google, Facebook, you know, Instagram, they're built around video. And that's what they're looking for. You know, you've got Google, you've got YouTube. They're the two biggest search engines on the planet. Yeah. And the video is just getting, so we used to spend $400, $800, $2,000 on one ad that's wrapping your fish and chips the next day.
Right. Exactly.
You can get a good video, you know, a minute-long video up to 2 minutes from anywhere from $300 to $1,000, depending on, you know, the level of production.
And then the other thing as well, Paulie, the other thing is this, and this is really, this dawned on me afterwards, after I'd started creating a library of residential properties and also, you know, my personal videos. It dawned on me, video is kind of evergreen. So all of these videos that you have taken, you may do a vlog that's 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. These property videos that are 1 minute, 2 minute. You now have accrued an endless supply where you can slice original content to drop into Instagram, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. You can create out of one vlog, I probably get 20 posts, maybe more. Yeah,
you repurpose all the content. It's so easy to do. You know, you got a ham-fisted guy like me in Australia punching away at the keyboard. You can do stuff, and it's all, a lot of the software is free. It's amazing what you can do, just putting in a little bit of effort. You know, it's crazy. And you know, I know like you can go a bit out there and get all the latest bells and whistles. And Cindy probably looks at the credit card statement and says, "What the hell? what have you done this time, Pete?"
A little bit, yeah. One other thing that I'm about to launch into, because it looks like, well, I know for a fact that I'm going to be listing a beautiful kind of, I think it's a dozen or so units in Los Angeles that are new builds. And so when I sat down and I was doing the marketing pitch, one of the things I expressed was I wanted to do a lot of video. And so we're going to actually be doing vignettes, not just of the four walls, but we're going to be going around in this area. Let's just call it West LA, right? We're going to be going in this area in West LA where I'm going to be going and interviewing the coffee shop owners, the residents, the this, the that.
Yeah.
And we're going to be creating, 30 or 40 different little vignettes.
Yeah.
That will then lead click-through people to this property.
Yeah.
And it isn't just the normal taking a video of the four walls and the nice pan and then the drone shot above. It's it's a whole, really, we're selling the lifestyle as much as the property itself.
Well, that's that storytelling that you keep talking about. And, and Gary Vee talks about it's building a story around that development, the area. And it's really, again, it's so simple to do. It's just you have to go out and do it and take the time to do it. But all the tools are there. But, one of the things I'm really finding with just doing the videos and, we've started a podcast. So you'll be one of our first guests on the podcast, Pete. This will be repurposed for that. Is that people from the outside looking in might think, okay, well, Paul and Pete, they're just promoting themselves. What's in it for me? But as you know, an agent or a brokerage with a bit of profile will attract buyers, will attract sellers, and then that just creates some momentum around your brand, which ultimately helps our clients, because it's all about attention, and we want to create.
And I wouldn't worry about the self-promotion thing, because the internet and your audience are going to figure that out. If you're just there sitting going, me and my wife are so great, you should buy a house from us, you're going to lose the audience. Whereas if you continue to add value to your audience, you're going to keep them. And I'm going to actually ask you a question. Since you started your social media campaign, which I guess is probably 2 to 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen an uptick in business?
Look, absolutely. And that's one of the things about social. It's hard to judge exactly the ROI, the metric. But so many more people have said, we saw you doing this, or we saw that video of that. And I think it just gets the conversation started, and I'm sure we have been, and look, I haven't done a survey with my clients to say, where did you actually find me? And that's maybe something I should do, but I'm sure that presence has been really, really helpful. And because I'm not one of these guys, and I've been doing this 25 years now, Pete, so I'm one of the old timers. We were putting sketches in the newspaper in the old days. And then, we're going to go to black and white photos. The earth, the sky's falling in. I don't like hassling people on the phone. I've never been one of these guys that just pounds people on the phone. I'll call when I need to and when I feel that's required. But this has helped me so much with that, is that I can still get the message out to people. I like, I've got a rough head, but I don't mind being on camera. I like talking to people. And I think that's a softer way of, hey, I'm here, this is what I'm doing, but I'm not ramming it down their throat every day that, hey, come and sell a house with me or come and buy a house with me. I don't like that salesman-y sort of part of it.
Me neither. I mean, what you're doing is, this is it. This is social media. So this is social media marketing 101, which is you are constantly reminding people that you exist.
Yeah.
Right. But if every video you do is you standing outside a house, it's going to get old really quick.
Yeah.
Whereas you get on there and I see you do your vlogs, you add value to your client base. Not everything is going to be a hit.
No.
It's going to ebb and flow. I see my numbers go up. I see them go down. I see them go up. I see them go down.
Yeah.
But this form of business attraction is something that I'm very, very, very committed to. And one thing I will say is this, and I enjoy this part of it, it evolves, right? You can't just keep doing the same thing. In a way, I wish you could, but you got to evolve.
Yeah.
And for me, it's evolving into, the Netflix. I can't believe I got the show. I was so lucky to get the show.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Now I'm trying to parlay that into more stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's incredible. And that's a really great example of you just being there. It doesn't necessarily, and this is nothing against you, Pete, doesn't mean you were the absolute best option they had, but you've been there. You've been creating this sort of snowball effect of content and the personality out there, and they just thought, hey, this guy's someone we need to talk to. They may not have thought originally you were going to get the job, but hey, we need to talk to this guy.
I was last on the list, Paulie. They went through, I think, close to 200 other people.
Wow.
Which I didn't know. And from all over the world, there was actually, I think the second guy was an Australian. But it was, it was, I had no idea when I got called. I don't audition. They called me, right? They went, you want to come in? And I'm like, yeah, all right, sure. Never thinking for a second I'd get it. And then I just went for it. And And then I found out after I'd got it that there were 200 other people that had tried out for the previous 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I'm glad you didn't tell me, Axe. It would freak me out.
Yeah. But as a reflection of that, your clients now will benefit from that exposure. You know, that's going to be something that your clients, Pete's off doing this, but we're going to benefit from that because more people want to deal with you. More people might want to sell with you. More people might want to buy through you. And that's just going to help build that momentum around your brand. So,
yeah. And I think the way that I don't know if it's like necessarily a direct correlation, but I think when you're guys like us, right, we are transparent. You can see the type of blokes we are. We're not trying to rip anyone off. We're not trying to, we do too much content for it to be fake.
Yeah.
Right. It would be too much hard work to have this fake persona, to shoot videos in the persona and then be a different, it's just too much hard work.
Yeah.
So I think what it does is it allows us to be transparent. Therefore, our clients can figure out what type of people we are before they meet us. And then hopefully it means they hire us and we're good people, so they get great service. It takes the mystery out of who we are as professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, in closing, Pete, I know you're super busy, mate. What time is it over there at the moment?
Up as 12, lunchtime.
Oh, lovely. You're going off for some of that organic nut butter or some lattes or something?
I'm sure something. Yeah, some organic nonsense somewhere.
Isn't LA the home of the vegans and organic and all that sort of stuff?
It is. I won't even get you started. I mean, when I order food in restaurants, it's kind of pathetic. I like no gluten, I like organic, pasture-raised meat. Yes. I've turned very LA.
Well, look, I'm 95% plant-based. I can't call myself a vegan yet, but I've lost a lot of weight, and it's been because I've been just chowing down on my veggies. So it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. So just in closing, mate, any vendors or even agents watching this, really video is something you can't ignore anymore. You've really, because I think that the stats are like 80 to 85% of the content online next year is going to be video.
Right.
And you can see it with Facebook, and you can see, if you tried to boost a post or something, it's just text that just doesn't get any reach. You've got to have video in there, and even photos aren't going that far anymore. So video on if you've only got a phone, do it with your phone. But if you can get some professional, work done and some help, promote your video, promote yourself and promote your clients' properties with video. I think, you'd have to agree with that.
I totally agree. And I think that, if you are, maybe you can interview your clients. Maybe you can ask them, what they love about the home on camera and turn that into little vignettes, and people are going to be attracted to that. But for all the real estate agents out there that are watching this, this isn't a fad anymore. This is the future. Yeah. And I firmly believe that those of us who jump on board with this will not only survive, but flourish as technology begins to kind of replace the more vanilla vendors and agents in our industry. And those of us who consider social media to be an important and integral part of our business plan, I believe will survive. The worst thing I could ever imagine for anyone out there, and this is me being Mr. Controversial, is don't let your company do your social media for you. Because when you do that, especially if you're at a big company, when your company does all your social media, you become a number. There's no individuality.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a slow, painful death.
Absolutely. Well, that's that. You call it the vanilla, the vanilla real estate. I call it the sort of the 3-piece suit brigade. They all come out of the same cookie cutter and their scripts and dialogues and all this sort of bullshit. And everyone sounds the same. No one, you go into a living room and the poor vendor doesn't know how to differentiate. And then it becomes a price thing. People start dropping their commission. Do they drop their commission in LA, Pete? Because in Australia, it's a disease.
They do, but you know what's funny, Paulie? Like Purple Bricks. Do you have Purple Bricks in Australia?
Yes. Yep.
They're really not getting arrested here. It just doesn't stick. And God bless America for this. America is a country that has been very much based on service.
Yeah.
Like everybody tips here for everything. Even if you go to the pub, you still tip, right? You tip for everything in America.
Yeah.
And I think what that has done is it has ingrained into the mentality of Americans that you get what you pay for. So people over here tend to not mind paying more as long as the service is great.
Yeah, they'll pay for the service. Yeah.
Because I know in England, Purple Bricks is making a killing, and in Canada, it's making a killing. So,
yeah, look, they're having a red hot go here in Australia. They're still struggling to get some traction, but again, there is a market for that, and that's not the market I'm going for. So, you know, good luck to them. And it's like what you say, you got to find your tribe. You got to find the people that you resonate with, and then life becomes so much easier. It's unbelievable.
And you enjoy it. It's like now you're like on a Monday morning or on a Sunday night, you're like, okay, great. I'm going to do this video, this vlog, this podcast, meet these clients, work on, and it becomes, it's great. I love every single day. Yeah,
absolutely. So look, Pete, thank you so much, mate. It's been a nice 6:30 in the morning for me, but I'll go and have some breakfast. You go and have your lunch, mate. And look, I will check in with you in the future, but I really appreciate everything you're doing for the guys in the industry. And, you know, you don't want anything for it. You're not trying to get us to buy courses or anything. So good on you, mate. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show.
No worries,
Thank you for having me on the show, Paulie. It's a real pleasure. I love Australia, love Australians, and I will see you around.
We'll be over to see you one day. Good on you, mate. Catch you later.
Ta-da.